host of Talking with Famous People, and winner of the Battle of Troy. Some people call me Helen of Troy because I'm so beautiful. But I'm not as beautiful as this beautiful kitty. Oh, yes. What a beauty. What a special lady. So, 7:42 in the a.m. I got a very good night's sleep tonight. Oh, yes. Yes, kitty, I know. And not feeling especially lively or wakeful or anything. Got up this morning intent on watching some cartoons like a normal, sane person would. Only to discover, at least as of now, there are no cartoons coming out today. There was one decent cartoon yesterday. There was one good cartoon the day before. I'm a little worried about this Crunchyroll season. I'm thinking this might not be the greatest Crunchyroll season ever. Let's see what's going on here in the chat and bring this up on the big screen. I asked the question today, are women nothing but trouble? I asked the question. The answer is obviously no, but I get a fair amount of like, well, the other day I put a title up saying, how did your last relationship end? And I got in the chat a fair number of men who were basically saying, women are nothing but trouble. So I thought I'd make that the title today. Good morning, Simple Girl 357. As you see, Dreamsy Smokes answers the question yes. The answer, Dreamsy Smokes, is no. But I do get the fact that there are a lot of people out there who seem to think that women are nothing but trouble. I said, like, somebody in the chat the other day said, thanks, Doug Willits. I'm desperately concerned about my extended warranty. So my point is, of course, somebody said the other day, marriage is an incredibly expensive way to get sex. And then some woman said, loneliness is a high price to pay for independence. Mom always said you got two hands, use them. Well, if by what you mean there is what I think you mean, you got to be pretty well endowed to need to use two hands. Like, I'm not that well endowed. A lot of new people didn't understand what a typing session is, had tons of questions during a typing session. Well, just join because the title is too tempting. Women are full of trouble. If marriage wasn't a thing, men would live to be 200. I knew this title would bring people in. I don't think women are nothing but trouble. And I'm on my third marriage, so if anybody should think that, it might be me. Yeah, well, fortunately, I don't need to use two hands, so. Anyway, besides that, it's like, I don't know. I just substantially prefer having intercourse with my wife over myself, Nerve plex. I'm a pansexual furry. Am I welcome here? Of course you're welcome here. I don't care what group you're a member of. I don't treat people according to what group they're a member of. Groups are dumb. Nobody likes groups. Oh, kitty, you want so many pets. What makes you want so many pets? How many pets do you need before you'll be satisfied at long last? Hmm? 1,000,000 pets? You need 1,000,000 pets? Okay, 1,000,000 pets for you. Even though you're a woman, I identify as old. Well, I sexually identify as an Apache attack helicopter. That was like a meme a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that one or not. What's for breakfast? I haven't even thought at all about having any breakfast yet. I just got up. I'm having to provide 1,000,000 pets to my cat. So, you know, how do I play with a syllogism? Women are nothing but trouble. And trouble, that one won't work because it doesn't have a proper quantifier. Nothing but is not a proper quantifier. I guess you'd say all women are trouble. I do want to hit the bong, but before I hit the bong, I think I want to go have a cigarette in the garage. We had a lot of precipitation last night. We had thunder, lightning, and at some point during the night, I heard it get hailing like crazy. So I was super glad I brought in my little seedlings last night because if I hadn't, they would have been crushed by hail. Am I feeling gay today? No, I'm just feeling regular. Albert Grossman, good morning. Meyer Hoffman says, do a brown starfish reveal. You're talking about my butthole. I can just tell you right now, Meyer Hoffman. It's entirely unremarkable, I'm assuming. I'm not entirely sure, actually, now I think about it, that I've ever looked at my butthole. I would imagine I'd have to get a mirror to look at my butthole. I imagine, like, somebody on Antiques Roadshow showing up with this small, like, gold encrusted mirror, and the Antiques Roadshow person saying, well, you know what this is? This is a Victorian butthole mirror. It's worth at least $3,000. Why would someone need to see their butthole? Well, maybe they are going to a fancy dinner and their outfit has a little butthole window. They want to make sure their butthole is up to snuff before they go out to dinner. That's possible. Why else would someone need to see their butthole? I don't know really why anyone would need to see their butthole. I can't come up with a lot of good reasons why someone would need to see their butthole. But maybe before they've concluded that women are nothing but trouble, maybe they first they consider that the problem might be their butthole. So they need to look at it to just confirm that or not. So it's the first day of Sleepy Week. can I get tight hugs, please? I won't hug you. Uh, Albert, when I felt very put upon by the universe, I would hug myself too. Say, it's okay, little Eric. Belly button review. My belly button is unremarkable. Putty Cat, yes, I did see the article on advances in quantum computing. How do I feel about women? I can't really see this very clearly. I mean, I'm on my third marriage. I don't have any problem with women at all. I just decided to make that the title because there are a lot of men out there who feel like they've been done dirty by women. I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who feel like they've been done dirty by men. We didn't go to the Sportsman's Cafe after all. I thought it was article. I thought it was interesting, but from my takeaway from it was that the improvement is really an improvement in latency, not in anything else. That this optical processor is useful for things like self-driving cars because there's no lag. But for most of our computing purposes, latency is not an issue. So I'm not sure what to think about it. I guess you did have trouble with the first two women you married. Well, I mean, those marriages didn't work out. The first woman was nothing but trouble. She cheated on me, and she's kind of a serial cheater. The second woman, the marriage was fine for while it lasted. The relationship was fine. Candace performed well as a mother for my daughter during her young years, and that was very valuable. We got along okay. Neither of us did anything wrong. It just didn't work out. But just all we had in common was my daughter. So when she grew up, we didn't really have anything else in common. Not all women are the same. I agree with you. How often do you cut what is left of your hair? Every couple months I'll do a full cut, beard hair, all at number 3 on the clipper or something. Basically, when it starts to bug me, right now it's actually starting to bug because I'm getting mustache hairs in my mouth and stuff. It's old man Pops. Shame no one listens to him. Why he has to talk to a device with comments. Old on a minute. He lacks people skills. Well, I'm gratified to know my people skills are better than yours. My first marriage was fairly short relationship. We were together for no more than 3 years total. Second marriage, I was with her for about 13 or 14 years total, 7 of them married. Having things in common with your spouse is overrated. Well, to a certain extent, you're right. I mean, you don't need to have all the same hobbies and stuff. Some things are more important to have in common than others. Like one thing Rachel and I have in common is we have very similar taste in music and certain kinds of media as well. So, um, and, you know, better people skills, and he's married more than once. Well, I wasn't very necessarily good at picking a partner, but I didn't like go over to someone's house and just walk in and start talking shit about them as you have. I think that would be more consistent with the notion of people skills than uh, picking the right partner. You know, most of us don't end up with the same woman that we start off with at 20 or something. But the cool thing, Chris Broadhead, is despite my myriad failures, you're here, paying attention to me, engaging with me, despite yourself. So, proof's in the pudding. Yeah, I got a 2-car garage, but I only have this little car in it. I don't park the car in here. Did your second wife attend your marriage with Rachel? No. Definitely not. My daughter did, though. My daughter loves Rachel. It's definitely the case that, yeah, you have to develop your skills, right? You start off with a starter wife, then you upgrade to like a minivan wife, and then eventually you settle into your final wife. It's just nature's way. You just did a little video about Teal Swan. Good job, Hanko Flame. I hope you tore to pieces. She's horrible. Where's all your crap stored? In the shed? I don't have a ton of crap. There's a lot of storage space in this garage. So I just put things behind these cabinets and stuff. We also have an attic. I got some stuff up in the attic. Which one is attic? I tend to forget which one is the one that's addicted to drugs and which one is above your house. But I gotta say, it's rather delightful this morning to start the stream and have Chip come in and try to do battle and slip and fall on his ass immediately. It's kind of fun to have that. Oh yeah, this is the final wife, believe me. Look, I traded in my 71 for an 85. And I am not even considering getting any other woman. The man's been married 3 times is a red flag. Oh, is it? Well, remember, this is my 3rd marriage. It's not like I've failed in 3 marriages. Yeah, if I hadn't failed in 3, then my 4th marriage you might have some doubts about. Why is Teal Swan such a topic around here? I mean, I don't think she's topic around here very often, but I do think that she's horrible in everything she does, She's a terrible writer, for one thing. I know this because I read emails she sent to Rachel before. Yeah, no, I will do Winston's mom. Oh, you're playing? Cool. Well, I mean, it's not an unreasonable thing to say, exactly. What inspires you to make a new thumbnail? I don't make really new thumbnails. I I I just, before I start streaming, I just push take thumbnail and it makes some sort of face, you know. Because I'm lazy, that's why. Well, Elaine, it may be true that Andrew Tate is just as bad or even worse than Teal Swan. The difference is that I've not watched Andrew Tate, whereas I've watched Teal Swan. I don't plan my riz. um, I don't even remember what face I did, Albert Grossman. Anyway, it's not time to make faces. It's time to pull barn rips. It's first thing in the morning. I haven't had any barn rips yet. It's time to pull some. So the problem with Teal Swan, of course, is that she's just uh, she's just projecting her frame of reference. You know, I don't plan out my poops, but I do feel like I had one on its way here this morning. It's not a plan; it's just an awareness. Um, it's the tyranny of TE, right? This notion that everybody is inadequate as they are and needs a ordinated set of steps or actions taken to make themselves okay. It's fundamentally wrong, horrible, stupid, dumb, terrible, and awful. Nobody, there's not a single person in the world who could even conceivably benefit from listening to Teal Swan. That stupid bitch is nothing but horrible advice. Now, Andrew Tate, who I'm sure is all about women are nothing but trouble, although I've never seen him before, so I don't really have reason to be sure about that. But, you know, they're both the same kind of flaw, right? They're both the same kind of flaw. They're saying, I'm going to pretend like I have answers, but I don't have any answers. I just have projection. I just have boogeymanning. I have no actual ideas, thoughts, insight whatsoever. None. My name is Teal Swan or Andrew Tate. I have zero actual insight, zero reason for anybody to ever actually listen to me, except they're just milking their own anger, right? Or milking their own desperation. I can solve my ontological distress by delegating to this dumbass woman or man, you know. He wants to keep women suppressed, keep them dumbed down. Oh, okay, Andrew Tate. Obviously, he just wants to apply the same standard he upholds himself to women so that they don't scare him. I need women dumb so I won't be more stupid than they are. Shut the fuck up, Andrew Tate. Suck my fucking dick. How do you like that, Andrew Tate? Why don't you just be a decent human being and deal with individuals instead of insisting that women are all like meh, or that everybody's suffering from abuse because I, Teal Swan, interpret the whole world like that. You stupid bitch. You know, obviously not. Shut up. If you're going to be talking to everybody on the internet, be correct, you fucking morons. Right? Is that straightforward enough? Yeah, no shit. All these guys have a problem. They can't adapt to situations for each individual woman, which shows they are weak beta males. I agree they are weak. I self-identify as a beta male, so I don't necessarily believe that beta males are inherently weak. But Well, footy cat, because I meant it metaphorically. I don't want him to actually suck my dick. Being wrong on the internet is how you get the best answers fast. Being wrong on the internet is how you give the worst answers fast. I mean, I'm not alpha, Sashi. I don't self identify as an alpha male. I self identify as a beta male. Why? Because I'm soft. And because I like I like girls, you know. Right. They want one strategy to apply to all women so they can use it every time and not have to actually think about dealing with an individual human being. Pretty Cat says, how many Powerball tickets should I buy? 5. What am I drinking? Coffee. It's first thing in the morning. What else would I be drinking? I'm not British. I don't drink tea. Robbie Rotten's BFF says, "Wasp." Oh, Tate's all about how it's a simulation. You know, it's like, what I note frequently is this. Mid-level intelligence tackling interesting topics is more popular than the correct answer about things consistently all the time. And Tate's also about how the media's out to get him. Well, I mean, I don't know if the media is out to get him or not. Certainly, anytime somebody garners a substantial audience and perhaps is conveying messages that kind of catch fire with certain demographic, like Jordan Peterson having the ear of a bunch of young males, etc. Andrew Tate. I mean, one of my points would be this. What's in my hand? My bong. Why would I have a watering can? I don't have any plants inside the house. Eric, you do not know what mania does to a man. Well, that's true. I do know what mania does to a woman. The thing is, people love answers, explanations, or whatever that allow them to identify the good guys and the bad guys. It's the same sort of thing that I did when I was a little kid and I was watching Days of Our Lives with my grandmother. I couldn't quite figure out ever what was going on in this show because it never seemed to really have a exact storyline or anything. It was just like things happening. So I'd always be asking my grandmother, is this guy a good guy or a bad guy? Is that lady a good guy or a bad guy? And she'd answer, and sometimes she'd say, well, he's not really either. Well, that's how people are dealing with ideas on YouTube, right? Here's a complex notion. Here are the correct positions on it. And then somebody will say, they won't say this, but this is what they mean. Yeah, but who's the good guy and who's the bad guy? That's not how intelligent things work, okay? Like, when you want, oh, it's snowing. When you want, no, my grandma watched, she very specifically watched Days of Our Lives. That was her favorite soap opera. And She watched it, you know. Hold on. Oh, look at this. It's snowing. Yeah, it rained all night last night. I wouldn't have expected it to start snowing once daytime comes. That's what happened. We got some April snow coming down. Fascinating, huh? Oh, you're the bad guy? You said peacocking is good? Here are Lamb says turning women into indisguisable masks to be conquered is messed up. Maybe when I was younger, I would relate to him more. You know, it certainly is a popular popular kind of messaging in rap songs and stuff, for example, that like one ought to feel proud about one's ability to hump a bunch of different girls. Okay, Albert Grossman. There you go. Cat, you can see the cat. No, I did not watch Melrose Place. Right. Well, it's always offensive and horrible anytime any individual says, I don't have to treat you like a human being because you're old, young, man, woman, black, white, Catholic, Islamic, whatever, right? It's always horrible anytime anybody does that at all. Like somebody here said, well, how do I feel about LBGT? I don't have any opinion about such stuff, right? I'm not concerning myself how other people hump. Like, why would I care at all? Uh, Here, at the same time, I can relate somewhat to him on a primal level, like wanting to have cool shit and hot chicks, etc. Yeah, I mean, like I can kind of relate to that in the sense that I can, I can, I get the idea of like not so much wanting to have cool shit or hump a bunch of chicks, but like for example, wanting to stay in the super fancy hotel and eat at the super fancy restaurant. I totally get that. I also like that. Um, but I'm not really an object lover. I don't want to have a bunch of fancy shit. You know, a sane person in my situation would have a fully set up music studio with many different instruments. All I bought was a guitar and a bass cabinet, and they weren't expensive. You know, for music stuff, they weren't expensive. So obviously I'm not super object oriented. I hate the fact that I bought that telescope. Oh my God, I hate that telescope so much. I'm just gonna throw it in the trash. I do not want it. I wish I had never bought it. It just takes up a bunch of space in the garage. It's horrible. Media is full of shit as well, sure. I mean, but like, Sashu, hug for you. Okay. Lou, I'm going to specify you too. You get a special individual hug, okay? And now, here's a hug for the whole chat, okay? And then here's one extra hug for Albert Grossman. Extra tight hug. Oh, Albert, it's going to be okay. There. Um, I mean, and the thing is this. It's like, I don't do tricks for money, hands. God. I'm not a prostitute, okay? Putty Cat doesn't want any hugs. Too bad you can't wipe the hug off, Buddy Cat. It's stuck on you now. Zach Hunter, good morning, sir. Good morning to you. So Lamb points out having money isn't insignificant, but he actually needs that stuff to get chicks. It's a good point, you know. The thing is, I am. I don't know. I've never been interested in getting chicks. I have always been interested in finding a relationship or something, but not getting chicks. Footy Cat says, Eric, how far back have you tracked your family tree? Not very far. I mean, I haven't done any kind of like ancestry.com or anything. I know my grandparents. It's about it. I'm on my phone right now. I can't click the link. Can you type the channel in, please? Let's see what it says. It's called The Line. Theline, The Line. And I like the title of this. Trans rights is the skeptic's position. You take vitamins sometimes. Not every day, but sometimes. Hi, Carly. Hi, Sujata Nayak. Um, One thing that's kind of weird about Sleepy Week that I have noticed seems nothing better than a turn partnership. What's a turn partnership? I like how Eric cares more about how fancy his hotel is than the chick he's with. Well, what I'm saying is, I'm not interested in getting a bunch of chicks or having a bunch of nice stuff, but I do like expensive experiences. So that means fancy dinner, go out, stay at a fancy hotel, or you know, buy the expensive weed, fancy drugs, or whatever. I like fancy experiences, but I'm not into like buying clothes or cars or whatever kind of other fancy stuff. Like when I got a guitar, I didn't get a Martin. I got a LTD. We all have the things that we feel like we want to be indulgent on, and areas where we don't feel like we need to indulge at all. For me, I like to indulge on experiences, not on stuff. I do think Motel 6 is extremely fancy. Yeah, KE's like me. She doesn't want chicks or cars, but she does like fancy, well apportioned hotel room. You know, I've never flown first class before, but it's the sort of thing that if the situation were just right, the reason I've never flown it before is because I can never justify to myself, Eric, are you really gonna spend an extra meow $100 for just to have your trip that lasts a few hours, 5 hours or whatever, um, be be extra comfortable. It just doesn't seem to make any sense. But it's the sort of thing that someday I might do. I might fly first class. Complete waste of money, you know. There's absolutely zero reason why anybody should fly first class. But that's the kind of thing, if I'm going to waste money on, that I wouldn't mind wasting money on, you know? Some people say that's definitely a waste of money as opposed to buying objects, in which case you at least keep an object and then you could resell it in theory. I wish your dad accepted you too, Albert. I feel sad for you that you got a situation that means you really can't count on your family, you know? It's horrible. It should be your family should be the last resort catch all safety net for everybody. Was my dad bald too? Yeah. Well, my mom had a glorious set of hair. I like timeless things or things that appreciate rather than depreciate, such as a car. Aren't that many things uh, that appreciate? You know, you're gonna if you want to get things that appreciate in value, you're gonna have to purposefully select things for that reason. Get like fine art or something that you feel confident that that artist is going to get even more like desirable, valuable instead of less. I watch a lot of Antiques Roadshow, so I can tell. And they have those ones where they reshow an old episode, and it says like back then it was $20,000, now it's worth $30,000. And they have the up arrow, or now it's only worth $10,000. Well, it's tricky to buy things that appreciate because you never know really what kind of things collectors are going to lose interest in or what's going to get hot. Sarah Abdullahi says old. Okay, good for you. I'm glad you're old. Congratulations. You're still welcome here no matter how old you are. Just because I'm a spry young buck doesn't mean I discriminate against older people. So welcome, Sarah. Welcome you and your old self. Carly says, my dad left before I was born. He didn't want anything to do with you. He didn't want to have anything to do with responsibility. You weren't even born yet. Didn't know you at all. He couldn't have had any opinion about you at all. Eric, when do you think Earth will run out of oil? I don't know. Hopefully after I'm done needing it. Well, yeah, sex is inherently a filthy, unhygienic activity. You know, it's the only activity I can think of in which not only am I okay with getting someone else's spit on some part of my body, I practically insist upon it. you know, eh, eh, obviously, it doesn't make any sense. I've thought about sex plenty of times. It just doesn't make any sense. It's, you can't explain it. It just is what it is. I think he might have put the put his chat in the wrong place. I don't know. Maybe he's watching another thing at the same time. It does make sense to people are sexually attracted or connected in some way and they have sex. Well, yeah, but my point is that uh, it's a strange thing in which a person behaves very, very differently than how they behave at every other time. Normally, everybody would say, no, I don't want someone else's spit on me. During sex, that question is not so obvious, you know? Putty Cat is not a bot. Can you see a close up of the cat? Okay. This is Capillo, kitty of wonder, kitty of beauty, kitty of softness, kitty of goodness. Yeah, well, she doesn't know why I was putting the tripod over there. She's like, "What are you doing? What are you looking for me for?" She's a she. She's a she kitty. I have a boy kitty too. I'll show you. I must say, if people think women are nothing but trouble, then explain to me why my girl kitty is such a good kitty and my boy kitty is nothing but trouble, so much so that his name is Trouble. Oh, yes. Yes, you are trouble. You're nothing but trouble. So, yeah, Capilla is very peaceful, very nice, good kitty. She's a wonderful kitty. That's why the song Wonderful Kitty that I wrote is about her. Because she's a wonderful kitty. Trouble's a pain in the ass, but whatever. That's how it goes. Who are you, says Starstruck Vintage. I am Eric. The man, the myth, the truth, the way, the future, the past, the present, all things to all people. Um, your cat. U.S. Army aircraft says, hey, grandfather. Hey, grandchild. Oh, my cat is really cute. This one especially is really cute. So, for anybody who happens to be just arriving, comedy flu, how do we all know we're not just part of some simulation and we all just need to wake up? Uh, Eric, do you think people are born homosexual or is it a life choice? I think they are born homosexual. I mean, I'm not sure that sexuality is as cut and dry as binary meow meow anyway, but Ezra says, do you agree that people are motivated more by looking for respect than sex, money, or any other thing in this world? People ultimately want to be honored. I really think it depends on your personality type. For people who have who have like for FI people, people who prioritize their own authenticities, understanding what's important to them what's uh and what's less important and stuff, then it's not the case that they mostly want to be honored, celebrated, whatever. You might say that is the case for me. Um, he does recognize that Ruben art. So I don't believe money brings happiness. However, I look at money as a tool we need to survive. Simple Girl says. I don't disagree with that. Um, so yeah, I think for me, I do want to be celebrated, honored, or at least paid attention to a lot, right? It's you could say it's my primary conscious motivation. Uh, of course, it's not a motivation that society celebrates, right? So to some extent, you'll see like every possible value configuration projected as an absolute good in words somewhere in the world. You know, silence is golden. That's projecting as an absolute value, countervaluing extroverted intuition. Talk is cheap. Again, projecting as an absolute value, countervaluing extroverted intuition. You might say, you know, everybody. No, I mean, I think my primary motivation is linked to my third slot function, my primary conscious motivation. Because my nature is extroverted intuition. It's not motivating or not, it's what I am. How I be me is with TI, but why I be me is your third slot function. You could be like 1, 2, 3, is like who I be, how I be, why I be. 4, you could be like when I be well. Or you could say where I have to. Maybe where being me falls short. I'm not sure. I'm not sure for 4. I guess my cigarette's in the garage. So we'll have to go get them from in there or just go in there and have them. Oh, it's hailing now. It was snowing, but now it's hailing. We'll just, I guess, stand in the garage, but I don't know if I should leave the door open or not because I do have my seedlings in here. I don't want them to get too cold. It is pretty chilly outside. You can see there's so much hail coming down now. It's making little piles on the gravel over there. But yeah, this is great. It's wonderful to get this much precipitation. The lakes and rivers will be full all summer, you know. Our little stream is just pumping, pumping. A lot of gallons of water right now. I kind of wish that falling down tree over there wasn't falling down right there because it blocks my view of the water coming out of the culvert. But what asthma gives, you know. I'd hate to ever be the princess and the pea, you know. Complaining about anything for me is just unacceptably petulant. That's the right word. It pleases me when I'm trying to express something and I pause a second looking for what's exactly the right way to express this. And there is exactly one right word to use. And I select it correctly, as I did there. The correct word to select was petulant. Well, we'll go back inside in a minute. It's pretty chilly out here. I got no socks on either, so my flip flops are kind of inadequate footwear for the moment. For the occasion would be a better word there to use. Occasion would be the correct word. Inadequate footwear for the occasion. You could say for the weather, you know, that'd be fine too. What is the occasion? The occasion is going outside to smoke a cigarette. That's the occasion. Must be heaven here. It's really quiet. That's, you know, you picked yeah, well, yeah, Ruben's right. There's an art to it, Ezra. There's an art to it. You gotta you gotta be a timing belt that links to me. Okay? In my time. You gotta read. Does Eric look like he's about to go smoke a cigarette? All right, let me go up and see what you have to say, Ezra. Look what I asked. That's even above that, huh? Do you agree that people are motivated more by looking for respect? I answered that a lot. I started answering that, and I kind of got distracted by something. I think it depends on the person. I think I'm motivated by that. I don't know if it's exactly honor, right? But it is attention, being listened to. Let me see what else you write. Okay, I'll let you out, Cat. Is that my favorite coat? Well, it's my favorite coat when it's cold. Okay, you're just trying to trick me. He likes to pull this trick. He knows I'll get up and let him out the door, so he'll come over here and meow. But what he really wants is for me to walk into the kitchen and watch him eat. So then he'll walk into the kitchen from there. Sometimes it works on me, sometimes it doesn't. You difficult cat. I already watched you eat this morning. Maybe that's why art is someone's most selfish ideas. That's their world, their idea, and their truth. So maybe that's why society will only honor artists after they pass, sort of like a balance. I mean, I disagree with that entirely, Ezra. I think that all good art is manifest as an entity with its own identity totally removed from the creator. When people put their own personal, particularized experience, feelings, true personal truths and stuff um, into art, then it is not timeless and it is bad. When I like the best songs that I've written, the best songs that I've written over the course of my life, they do not feel like I've written them. They feel like they existed before I channeled them from the ether. Most of my songs fail to uphold to that standard because they're me. They think of Eric. So I mean, people who are looking for money, got wives, etc. Ultimately, can be boiled down to looking for honor. Well, I mean, I think that's that's a cheap and easy substitute for honor, right? Like, who's actually impressed by any of those things? I don't know anybody who's impressed by that. Of course, I mean, I don't really ask people if they're impressed by that, but what I want to be, I want to win, right? Like, I want to win the arguments and I want to win the battle for hearts and minds by both being correct and righteous. I want my truth to be universal truths that validate universally. I don't want them to be my own personal truths. And there's a difference between art and explanation, obviously, but I actually don't mind people talking either at all, but don't tell me you're gonna blah blah blah. Just prove it. Right. Well, telling people you're going to do things is, from my perspective, always ill advised. Nick Thompson says, is that squirrel making a nest? I don't know. I periodically make that mistake of telling people I'm going to do things. I thereafter, of course, I'm guaranteed to not do that thing. Putty cat, that might be your best question ever. Why isn't the correct word flatulence? Because I'm not talking about farting, Putty cat. Am I missing some things? I might be on. Oh, I'm on live chat. Okay, good. Albert Grossman, you tuned in here to the thing that I might like best about this place, namely that it's quiet. You know, that I don't hear sirens. I don't hear. Uh, I don't hear helicopters. KE says the trick, Azra, is to stop trying. Then whenever you say something, Eric will think you're talking to him. DDX098, good morning to you. And welcome. Nice to see you. Hero Lamb says, so when he makes music and plays with dolls and shit, he's inning. I mean, I'm inning right now. This is as pure a form of extroverted intuition as any you're going to find. It's just me expressing ideas, explanations, answers, talking, Yeah, I'm also inning when I play with my dolls, but I'm only sometimes inning when I play music. If I'm playing songs that I've already written, then I'm doing something different. I'm trying to NISISE. Uh, bonsoir, bonsoir, les amis. Quelle heure est-il? À la plage. That is a spoiled kitty. This is a spoiled kitty too, in a way. Be a nice human, Eric. Also, put impactful words at the beginning, trim excess, and keep reader curiosity through the last word or longer. My pups think I need to steady entertain them. It gets tiresome. I know, it's ridiculous. These spoiled cats. I'm having to pet this cat while that cat glares at me from over there because I'm not watching it eat. Regarding the statement, would I be, how I be, why I be, would that slot change depend on if your extroverted functions are for a second slot? I don't think so. No. I think, like For you, what you are is TI. How you do it is SE. Why you do it is NI. I'm impressive. Yes, but you orchestrate everything, Ruben, which is foreign to me. Kind of impressive, actually. He manages people's perceptions. He does a good job of understanding how other people are going to respond to meow or meow or meow, you know? B. Lizzo loves dick. Well, good for you, B. Lizzo. Carly loves the kitty cat. That's a sensible thing to say. Oh, yes. What a good kitty. What a special lady. You are a very special lady. Rachel's in bed. Uh, I need to catch up here. I am way behind. Angela Freestyle says, you broke my nose. I did not break your nose. Cost says, you're so hot. Well, thanks a lot. I use that to my advantage, KE says. Telling people to do something will lead me to doing it 90% of the time. Well, you and I are different. I mean, the thing is, it depends on whether there's sort of a public accountability for it or not. You know? In other words, if I tell somebody else like I'm going to do this thing that you're waiting on me to do because you have something you're going to do predicated on it or something, then I will definitely do that. But if I'm just saying to somebody, I'm going to meow, um, like on a live stream, that's not a good way to get it done. Do people hunt in the woods near my house? Will somebody beat you up while you wear a dress? Not around here, Eli. I don't know. Maybe someplace some people will. I cannot give you $4. No. Uh so if somebody else is counting on me to do it, and I say I'm gonna do it, then I'll definitely do it. Angela Freestyler, I don't solicit money, but if you wanted to donate money, there's a super chat. Do I think the moon landing was fake? No. Sanctuary Kill says, is the topic supposed to be women are nothing but trouble? Well, the question is, are women nothing but trouble? And the answer is definitely no. But it seems to be a popular position here on the interwebs, on YouTube. Seems to garner a person a lot of subs and notoriety if they are basically misogynists, for lack of a better word. But I'm not that way at all. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just men expressing their fear when men say things about women being bad or whatever. Do my cats eat sardines? No, but they did eat some tuna juice when I made tuna sandwiches. Well, how about I just ask the title as a poll question? Are women nothing but trouble? I think I'm going to be depressed by how many people say yes. I spank myself. Mm. I don't spank myself, but I like that one. Skygazer 8989. I think that's a good one. I spank myself. You always gotta watch out when the word ice is anything, or the word mic, or the word grow. All three of those words in any given chatter, mm, unlikely to lead to good outcomes. Boobman says, OMG, is this Epstein? You talking about me? Uh, I'm not. You're the one whose name is Boobman. you know, I hate to point that out, Boobman, but uh, my answer to the question is no. And I'm totally non exploitative, both in narrative and in action. Nor am I inclined to reduce women to their body parts. I am married to a woman, and I am in fact a boob man myself. But um, I think if anybody were to evaluate the two of us in terms of our propensity to be exploitative, well, I think any sensible person would say the individual named Boob Man is more likely to fit the bill. I'm not using big words. I mean, if you're a third grader or something, then congratulations on being such an advanced third grader as to already know you're a boob man. But I don't generally try to dumb down my streams for to the level of third graders. I just talk how I always talk. Hey, Squiggles Jaw, have I ever had a mullet? No. Yeah, boob man. It's really disrespectful of me to call you dumb after you enter the room and call me Epstein. Well, so far you are proving that the promotion from single A to double or triple A was premature at best. Jaylee Chias, it's a question. It's not sexist. My answer to the question obviously is no. The point is, you know, maybe ask some questions of me before you jump to conclusions, okay? Yeah, there are things in baseball, boob man. It's okay. You'll learn about it someday. It's a sport people play, you know. You'll figure it out. Aaron Brewster says, I'm in college. Good for you. No, Putty Cat, I don't want to grow my hair out and have a comb over. I mean, I obviously don't think women are nothing but trouble. I'm happily married. I have a wonderful, beautiful 25-year-old daughter. And I had a wonderful mother whom I respected a great deal, you know. I treat individuals like individuals. I don't treat people like members of a group, woman, man, old, young, whatever, right? Um, so oh no, you didn't step over any line. It's fine, boob man. I mean, people come in and try to get me in myriad ways, constantly, all the time. I've been doing this for a long ass time. I welcome every attempt. It's sometimes I even have people come in and surprise me with new stuff. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen occasionally. It's all part of the fun for me. People come in and want to do battle, want to play fastest gun in the West or whatever. Rack paints. Am I retired now? You could say that. Um, it is the case that I don't have a job. It's also the case that we're getting this income property ready to rent. We've got stuff in the works, but uh, work is not among that stuff. There's stuff in the works, but work is not among the stuff in the works. Toby Lynch says, I'm a strong, independent man that don't need no woman. Well, good for you. Squiggles Jaw says, I just broke my fast and I feel like I'm a 9-month pregnant female. What is this live stream about? This live stream is just me living my life, talking about various subjects, answering questions, addressing things people say, mostly responding to the chat. Armando Rodriguez says, "Stop being lazy. Get to working. Get your money up, not your funny up." I mean, I'm trying to make my money work for me. For example, we recently bought a second property down the street and plan to rent it month to month. You know, that's the best way to do things if you can, right? Is to have your money work for you rather than you work for your money. But if you don't have the kind of capital that allows you to do that, then you got to work for your money. I have not. We're just starting this rental thing, and hopefully we won't have to deal with squatters. I don't think we should because there's high demand, low availability for month to month rentals in the county where we live, and so it's we're going to be able to kind of have our pick of renters. Yeah, I like Tame Impala. They're good. Having a rental property is obviously a lot more hard work if one I will answer your question in a second, Boob Man. There's a lot more hard work if you're doing a vacation rental or a short-term rental than it is if you're doing month to month, and it depends on the tenants you have, you know. So it's not easy being a landlord. My parents were landlord. My grandma was landlord. I assisted in all of their dealings with properties all through my childhood and stuff. So what do I think about pronouns, AI, gender identity? Well, my position on pronouns is my pronouns represent how I perceive a person. Okay, that makes them directly in contrast to the name you want to be called. So let's say you're a dude and you want to be called Tiffany. I'll always call you Tiffany because that's your name. However, if I perceive you as a dude, then I'm going to refer to you with male pronouns. It's unreasonable of anybody to demand control or say over how I perceive somebody, right? That belongs to me. Now, at the same time, it's the case that if somebody is being cool, polite, requesting that, you know, I refer to them as such, even though I'll probably just use they, but uh, I'm not going to purposefully like use a pronoun they don't like because of some sort of political position. And I have no political position on it, obviously, because um, why would I care? You know, it's like I'm not a trans person myself. There's nobody in my life who's trans. I have nothing to do with the subject. Why would I care at all? To care about that a lot and to have a strong political position on it seems to me born of some kind of fear. Now, regarding AI, well, there's no such thing as artificial intelligence. Okay, the term what we call AI is just a, a more complicated search engine, really, a search engine with compilation and generative capacity. But it's like, let's say you were to try to use an AI to replace me doing what I'm doing right now. It would be impossible unless you fed the AI all of my all everything about me, right? All these streams I've ever done, all the videos I've ever made, plus more information about my life, etc. And then fed it instructions saying, when receiving questions, reference past answers. But even then, if I'm directed towards a new thing, there's no way the AI can intuit the way that I can what one might reply to it. How would exactly you could potentially like teach an AI how to pace things. That's conceivable, but even then, it's like almost impossible to conceive of it happening, right? And I think that's what one needs to think about when one thinks about AI is what actually is AI, what can it do, what can't it do. What I think about gender identity, I think that people can identify as whatever gender they want, um, but that the question of biological sex is binary and determined by the simple question of whether or not you have a Y chromosome. I think it's irrelevant to focus on the fact that there's a, a, a difference between our understanding of gender and our understanding of biological sex. I think it's insane and ridiculous to have a firm, hard position on it and insist that that's correct because there's no. To what extent do we? There are only a very few things that we actually adjudicate using that metric. Things like, for example, which sports you can participate in, and that is an issue that's legitimate to discuss, and it is legitimate to say um, people should have to compete in their biological sex sport or whatever. But it's like it's ultimately just creating an issue that's a real issue, but it doesn't, you know, it's not enough for anybody to get all upset about. It's like finding something to get upset about because you're already upset about uh, shifting paradigm that runs afoul of what you're most comfortable with. I mean, we can look at some other countries that definitely have engaged in horrible public policy regarding identitarian stuff, things that amount to either compelled speech or criminalized speech that is a situation where the cure is definitely worse than the disease, right? So it's not good to have those. We don't need to worry about that in America. The Supreme Court has already established lots of precedent that basically excludes those possibilities from manifesting here. Do I support communism? Of course not. Communism is just another form of totalitarianism, authoritarianism. Just, it's just different bullshit justifications. It doesn't really matter what your bullshit justifications are. That's a funny a funny quote. If you voted for a man who said grab him by the pussy, you have zero claim to protect. You have zero room to claim to protect anyone in bathrooms. Well, that of course is bullshit because you might an individual might have voted for Trump as a lesser of two evils thing while not approving of certain things about him, right? Just because you vote for someone doesn't mean you approve of everything about them. But I do get the point. It's kind of amusingly stated. Uh, no, I don't support Bernie Sanders. It's horrible. Bro, respect women. Glassoli Bettinger. Perhaps you should ask before you assume. Okay? Find out, for example, what my answer to the question in the poll is before you assume that you know what it is. I respect women plenty. Okay? Power of positivity. Here's a real positive comment. Grandpa needs to take some time off YouTube. I'm not entirely sure you understand what the word positivity means. It sounds to me like you feel somewhat threatened by my expression of autonomy, agency, etc., my capacity to express myself here and convey information, etc. But that's fine. I like to allow others to understand their own wrongness and reducing me to meow meow or the other thing and presuming that they understand what I ought to do. A lot of people ultimately come in here and behave according to what they believe they know without any experience, and then are ultimately converted by the experience of engaging here such that they come back. That's the best thing that happens around here. Do I support free market capitalism? Free market capitalism is not an ideology a system or anything like that, right? Capitalism is simply the absence of use of force, preventing individuals from engaging consensually in contractual relationships that both parties find beneficial to themselves. So, a lot of times people make the mistake of thinking as though capitalism were some kind of a system when it's the absence of a system. Now, that doesn't mean we need to have the complete absence of a system. There are plenty of situations in which government ought to regulate, especially when that regulation preserves a level playing field and preserves the integrity of competition as a mechanism. Yes, I do own a rifle. Teresa Sanaka says, I'm a woman myself and that poll is offensive. Why put something like that up? What good does it do? Well, in part, I put it up, Teresa, because uh, in a recent stream, I put up a poll that said, how did your last relationship end? And what I discovered was that it invited a lot of angry males who came in and said, basically, women are nothing but trouble. So I've also heard a lot of people bring up Andrew Tate and his kind of groupist approach towards sexual dynamics and stuff. And so I was just generally thinking about how a lot of the groups of or demographics on YouTube that express as one way or another, that they ultimately, the thing that gets really popular is some form of what I call platypusing or boogeymanning, an attempt to, instead of deal with nuanced issues in nuanced ways, an attempt to blame some monolithic group or reduce some group to a monolithic status that not only doesn't represent reality, but is fundamentally a wrong way of engaging with the world. I put it up. No, I put the question up. I phrased the question and put it up for the reasons I just articulated. Now, what I want you to do is respond to what I just said, not shift ground, address something else. But if you want to continue to engage the subject, respond to what I just said. Do I think Social Security will go bankrupt? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that in its current status as an endowment that obviously, if you project out the math, it doesn't continue to sustain. What do I think we should do about that, if anything? I'm not sure. It's a complicated question. And here we see, Teresa, why I put this poll up, right? Because Arda Kalaskan comes in and says, women corrupt the soul of a man. All right, look, Arda, you can be as gay as you want, and nobody's going to judge you for that. You don't have to claim that your gayness stems from the fact that women are inherently corruptive, okay? Just love men as much as you want. You don't need to shit on women in order to do that. Big Dog Mofo like the Naked and Afraid stream. I mean, if women corrupt your soul, then that leaves you the opportunity to be with other men. That's the only other alternative. What sounds like something Andrew Tate would say? Well, I'm assuming he says women corrupt the soul of men. He must believe that he can only remain uncorrupted while having sex with other men. I'm assuming, right? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing that. That sounds like something Andrew Tate would say, says John. This is why I put this poll up. This is why I titled the stream this. This is why I put the poll up. Because I am going to be continually receiving this kind of delightful stuff. Well, that's what's inferred by what you said, right? That's what you meant. Whether you said exactly that or not, that's what it means. If you believe women are so corrupting, then obviously you should just be with men. Oh, not you, just the guy in the chat. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe Andrew Tate's gay too. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that, Art. I'm not trying to bust your chops about being gay. Be as gay as you want. I don't know. No horse in that race. Nothing wrong with that at all. So you think all love is corrupting? That's strange. I mean, it's the exact opposite is true. Being loved and cared about and nurtured and stuff is kind of critical to a human's well-being. Faye says, are women nothing but trouble? Bro definitely got rejected. I just am asking this question, Faye, which is something you should learn from. Why don't you consider asking me a few questions before you assume you know what my position on the question is? I answer the question, no, obviously. What a dumbass question. It's the sort of notion I hear a lot, though, which is why I asked the question. So that I could have the opportunity to correct and play with people like you who assume they know what the fuck they're talking about before they've sought any information about anything. Next time, don't be such a dumbass. Hopefully you learned something from this. I want to assure you, Faye, you are a dumbass, and it has nothing to do with the fact that you're a woman. Important lesson there, everybody. Everybody can be a dumbass. Man, woman, everybody. Even I can be a dumbass sometimes. This is not one of those times, but, we can all be dumbasses. And no, I didn't get rejected. I'm happily married to a wonderful, delightful woman who's enjoying a restful slumber upstairs. Oh, it's really coming down. Looks like we got some real snow going on here. Let's take a gander. Oh, it's not snow, it's hail. It's little tiny hail. I think. Yeah, it's little tiny hail, I think. You could call it snow. I don't know what that is. It's either snow or hail. But we're getting a lot of it, whatever it is. The way that it bounces like little balls, that's what makes me think it's hail and not snow. Let me see if I can zoom in on this so you can see what I'm talking about. Can you see it bouncing? Maybe not. Maybe it just doesn't zoom in that clear. But my point is, the takeaway from this whole conversation is I believe this to be little hail and not snow. And now it's almost turning into rain. It is. It's rain now. No, it's still a little hail. My mistake. It's just even smaller little hail. Kind of it's wintry mix, they call it on the weather thing. Wintry mix means you get a mix of snow, hail, rain. Anyway, I'm loving the wintry mix in April, Obviously, if you try to get your seed planting done early in the season, you're like, oh no, if your seeds are outside. However, my seeds are not outside. My seeds are in a sensible place. They were outside yesterday when it was nice and sunny out, but they're not outside today. They're in here. See? So they don't get. I'm glad I brought them in last night because I brought them in because I was afraid it was going to get too cold out. But the reason I'm glad I brought them in is because it super hailed a lot during the night last night. Like, I was woken up by the sound of, like, crash, 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 crash on the roof, you know? So those hails last night, they definitely would have smashed my poor little seeds. My poor little seedlings, I mean. I'm glad I brought them inside. Meow to you too, kitty. And a very good meow to you. All right. God's dumping the rest of his snow cone now that the flavoring is gone, says Sean. Is that what it means when you get that? I mean, Articaliscan, there's no debate of the idea, right? Like, I'm happily married, wouldn't want to have it any other way. If you're trying to claim that women love is inherently corrupting, well, my counterexample disproves the generality in and of itself. My name is not Chris White. My name is Eric Strauss. I am reading the chat, Putty Cat. I am from Mariposa County, California, which is the county where Yosemite is. So it's a lovely day. Lovely day. You know, even though you might say, well, it's not a day to like go have a picnic, but I'm in California. We're always thrilled to get more precipitation, be it snow, rain, or whatever. Nothing is better than gay. Cool. What is the last argument you and Rachel got into? One time I was annoyed by her being on her phone too much. Some months back. I wouldn't call it an argument. I kind of scolded her. You know, you can be corrupt and happy, corrupt and have a strong standing virtue for your own. In my belief, it corrupts the commonality of man. I mean, what does that even mean? Like, in what way have I been corrupted by being married? How did having a child corrupt me? Because, you know, my first marriage produced a child. And anyway, like, if you wanted to establish that I've been corrupted in some way, you'd have to describe a world in which I was not corrupted, how I would be different, and how that would be preferable. If you can't explain those specifics, then you're just creating reification fallacies. Obviously, love cannot corrupt somebody. You know, abstract notions, feelings, whatever, cannot be corrupting. Corruption means something specific. The idea that somehow you can be adulterated from a state of purity by I don't know, sexual intercourse is completely insane. I mean, you can be in certain circumstances. There are instances in which sexual intercourse can be corrupting, but you have to obviously distinguish between such instances and other instances by whether or not corruption occurs, not just by you can't possibly even remotely begin to claim that the mechanism is inherently corrupting because we can see such stark distinctions between instances where it is and instances where it's not. Obviously, if somebody cheats on somebody else, then that sexual intercourse is corrupting something that otherwise was unadulterated, right? Hence the term adultery. But when I have sex with my wife, it renews the an intimacy between us that makes the relationship different than a friendship. Yeah, I'm from German stock. Dude's the warlock casting level 1 corruption on everything. Eric Strauss, Strauss, like Levi's but no relation. Hey Squiggles, how's it going? This is not Squiggles' jaw. This is a different Squiggles, I think. Cat lover is scared. Well, maybe I can make you feel less scared by showing you this. I pay with things with my debit card. I don't have a credit card. All right, cat lover. I want you to be reassured by this, okay? You don't need to be scared anymore. You're not watching an old man live stream. You're watching a cat live stream. Now, the first one. Virtue itself is a fake concept. I mean, virtue isn't the alternative to corruption, right? Even if you want to make a meaningful distinction with the word corruption, you're corrupting from something unadulterated, legitimate, pure, whatever, to something that's not pure, legitimate, etc. Okay, well, you can't have it both ways, Arda. It can't be both governance and women who are responsible for the core corruption, right? If you want to universalize your corruption, we're getting some real gentleman scholars around here today. Yeah, my cats have claws. If you want to universalize your corruption, you can only do it to one thing. You can't universalize to two different things, obviously. I don't think he's tired. I think he's just weird. Again, with the assumptions, right? Zerg says, I must be very Republican. First of all, I'm a correctist. I am neither Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, or anything else. I'm not right nor left. I'm just correct about every specific political position. And most importantly, what I'm correct about is called the process of making claims. First, gather information, then make a claim based on the information you've gathered. Don't just come into someplace, assume you know about somebody, without, when you have a perfectly good opportunity to gather information, choose not to do so and just make a bunch of random claims. Then you just end up looking like a dumbass. Yes, Boob Man, that is correct. I have kids. I have one daughter. She's 25 years old. She lives in Los Angeles. I'm not claiming things about women, Zerg. I ask a question both in the title of this video and in the poll. That is not making a claim. Claims are never questions. Questions are never claims. Claims are statements. No, I don't play backgammon. Yes, I play guitar. No, that's not what I did to you and your philosophy at all. You mean universalize shit, like you just said? No. I have just correct about things, articulated the correctness about your position, which is say you're reifying, you're creating a fallacy that says things that don't have agency are responsible for outcomes that are caused by agency. So that's what you're saying. That's incorrect. It renders whatever else you're saying fundamentally invalid because it's fallacious. Hi, Cameron. I think masturbation's fine. I don't love Eddie Van Halen. No, I think he's trying to be fancy with his guitar playing in ways that don't correlate strongly with good music. But I did listen to Van Halen back in the day. I 1984 is a good album, and Van Halen has a number of good songs. Thoughts on kids today being born without wisdom teeth? Are we evolving? No, I don't think we're evolving. Yes, I know Eddie Van Halen is dead. I've forgotten, but I do know that actually now that you mention it. I didn't know that was happening, John. It's curious, but I don't know what to make of it. Can I show you my wheat plate? It's right there. All right. So in a moment, I'm going to go into the bathroom and go pee. I will not go gently into that good bathroom, okay? I go in there to pee, perchance to poo. I could spill all over your carpet. Oh, it's multiple cheap dinner plates. Okay, I feel you here, Boot Man. You're not wrong. If I were using just a single one of these plates, that would be inadequate. But there's like 5 of them. So, what's better, DMT or acid? DMT is better because acid's an iffy proposition. You never know what you're going to end up taking. And is this a Dixie commercial? Both the cats have food, okay? Well, this weed that we're currently smoking, it just kind of fell into our lap. But I have grown plenty in the past. I currently have a few little seedlings going in a few little pots. I don't plan on growing any more than I really need for my head, you know. I am not interested in attracting a lot of attention. You know, yes, it's California. Yes, it's legal, but this is a pretty conservative county we live in. Like, this county does not allow weed stores. So that, to go to the store and buy weed, which we do periodically, because Rachel likes to smoke vape concentrate, you know, rather than pulling bong rips. I like to pull bong rips. She likes to vape concentrate. So we have to go to the store to get that. And when we do, we go to Merced. It's about an hour away. It's not that far. The last time we went to Merced, we got this really cool vape that you could put regular cartridges in. And, you know, if you, like, we talked to the guy last time at the store, and he was very knowledgeable. Like, he told us which carts to get, because you might be saying, those carts are terrible. They're all bad. They're just cheap, horrible concentrate. You shouldn't smoke that. They put flavorings and stuff in it. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's true for most carts you're going to buy, but not all of them. Because that guy we talked to last time knew what he was talking about so much. The carts we got last time have been excellent. I still don't generally smoke them. But anyway, the other thing this vape has on it that is what really makes it special is it's got a fill it up yourself cartridge for if you want to put your own, if you want to buy concentrate that's not like oil in a cartridge, let's say shatter or crumble or something, you can scoop it into this extra metal cart that comes with it and then use that as the cartridge and it'll vape your own concentrate that you put in. That's why we got it. We'll have to experiment a bit because the crumbles and the shatter that we got last time, it doesn't really seem to melt particularly well. You know, it's like I kind of got to get started by hitting that metal cartridge with a lighter or the torch on low flame first to heat it up, and then it'll work. But I'm thinking, I know they have some concentrates that come in these little like syringe dispensers. It's not a syringe like with a needle on it, but a syringe like a turkey baster, but very much in miniature, you know? If we could get one of those with good concentrate in it, they made to like put a little bit on top of your bowl or whatever. But that might be a good thing to put into the metal cartridge, scoop it in yourself thing. And maybe I wouldn't have to do that extra heating step. All right, well, that was an excellent poop, everybody. Give yourselves a nice round of applause. You did a wonderful job. Of helping me poop. I'm gonna wash my hands. We're gonna watch the cat eat, and then I'll get back to looking at the chats. I'm sure at this point, Putty Cat has scolded me multiple times for not reading the chat. I'm going to wash my hands all night. Okay, I'm coming. Jesus. Okay. I will get you more food. Okay, I will. There. Eat your food, Mr. Kitty. Oh, yes. You're a silly boy. And you have the spirit of boyhood in your heart. Yes, you do. Well, I get it. Oh, I know. I also find this boring. I don't blame you for being bored. But, you know, sometimes we have to do what we have to do. And right now, what we have to do is watch the cat eat. It doesn't matter that we don't want to watch the cat eat. Because what we want even less than to watch the cat eat is to be forced to endure his many meows. As you may have heard there before we started watching him eat, his meows can get pretty angry sometimes. They can get pretty insistent. I don't think I'm the only one who would be unable to put up much resistance to his powerful meows, you know? Oh yes, I'm watching you eat, just like you want. You're getting your way again. Are you done? That'd be nice. No. Of course not. Of course, if Capito jumps down right now and tries to go outside, then he's going to be like, now I have to go outside and chase her around. He's checking on her right now. It's like, I don't like the looks of what she's doing. You know what? You, Trouble, you're one of those horrible guys who thinks women are nothing but trouble. And that's why you're mad at Capillo. All right, let's go into the other room and see what everybody's saying on the CHAT. So I'm in right now that intermediate space. An intermediate space between being on Adderall, which I was yesterday, a little bit anyway, and being on Sleepy Week, which I really will be on tomorrow. Men are supposed to lead women and women are supposed to be submissive. That's an interesting perspective. You know, Rachel and I have a pretty traditional marriage. And I'm not saying you're trying to do something on them, but I have heard in the past people try to impose that kind of paradigm on my marriage, but I don't view it like that at all. Even though I'm the extrovert and the one who's leading in some sense, I would never even consider wanting Rachel to submit to anything that she doesn't. She's not equally enthusiastic about it. Old mechanic says, get a job. So, hopefully not going to happen. Because while a person should, for some portions of their life, work for money, if one can, is less empowered for whatever reason, to have money work for them, that's a better way to go. And that's one to grow on. I have to make more coffee. Well, what I mean to say is I have to heat up more coffee. Huh. Oh, look at the car. It's Got a lot of snow on it. Not a lot of snow. Or it's either snow or little tiny hail. I'm not sure. I mean, now it kind of feels, well, it does seem like hail, really, not snow. See what I mean? It's like hail, little bitty hails. It's not snow. Isn't that interesting? I know, April, right? April, but we're getting, well, it's not snow. It's little tiny hails. It looks like snow, but it's not. You have to sit on the back seat of your car to be able to drive it. No, I don't. I fit in my car just fine. So anyway, one of the great things about this morning's live stream, which is not going to be an especially long live stream because I'm not on any amphetamines, but I've gotten to basically incite a variety of unnuanced paradigms to vocalize, and it's afforded me the opportunity to provide the correct position, which isn't especially nuanced, right? It's like it's just correct. In reply, but you know, I guess I was being generous when I say unnuanced position. So what I should have said is, I've been able to incite a variety of instances, forms, manifestations of platypussing. Whether it's the lady coming in saying, simply asking this question is sexist, which allows me to explain, no, it's not, actually. It's a good way to engage these ideas by eliciting, some overly just dumbass shit like that. I don't know what else to call it besides dumbassery. Or this shit guy is a gay. Or this shit guy is a gay. Family Goldstein says, remember the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. And I would also indicate, remember the platinum rule, treat others as they want to be treated. Because it is often enough incorrect to generalize from what matters to you and assume that others prioritize the same thing. Mahi Chowdhury Shuvo. It's difficult to effectively be insulting when you phrase things like this, Or this shit guy is gay, is a gay skull. I mean, I where do I even begin? I mean, my position is we should treat individuals like individuals. If we want to understand what they want, what's important to them, ask them. Okay, good question, Putty Cat. Excellent question. Putty Cat asked an excellent question. All right, gay shit, this guy? I'm gonna go with maybe. I do poop. I don't think my poop is gay or straight, really. Probably category error. And the next poll be Frosted Flakes or Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's a better poll. Let's do that right now. 35% of people, which I guess does not necessarily exclusively include men, but 35% of people say yes. I wonder how many of those 35% are women who say that. I'm curious about that. All right. Which cereal? Frosted Flakes, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, oops. I meant to push post poll, but I accidentally pushed add a third option. So we have to have a third option now. I'm gonna go Raisin Bran. How do you spell raisin? Bran. Okay, there. Start poll. Frosted Flakes, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or Raisin Bran? You be the judge. KE says, I don't eat cereal. The next poll should be, can we trust people who don't eat cereal? That should be the next poll. Are people who don't eat cereal evil? I'm about to roll over to 14K, huh? Wow. It's amazing. I'm just sort of in a state of withholding judgment. Good question, Putty Cat. Putty Cat asks if cereal gave shit poop man. Muesli. Jesse says, what up, man? Big time fan. Well, thanks, Jesse. Let's form a clan. Gonna be I'm sure, an unremarkable day. Muesli. Muesli. Reese's Buffs. Reese's Puffs, but with Dragon Ball Z characters on the box. All right, well, that's a very specific choice of yours, Sean. Chris Chapman says, now this is controversial. I should get some shirts screen printed. I'll look into it, see if there's any screen printing here in Mariposa. I like to support our local businesses. Jesus loves you, repent for your sins. Okay, I do. At least I don't know if I repent for them per se. It depends on what you mean by repent, but I do regularly ask forgiveness for my various failings in life. You know who I ask, right? A little someone named Jesus. Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. Some people call them just a white, blue-eyed, long-haired hippie. But you know what I say? I take rye bread as the best cereal. So I wonder if anybody, I mean, I know it was long. I didn't really want it to be that long, but it's obviously longer when you suspect somebody's not going to agree with your typing of them. Anything with raisins is gross and weird. K.E. Chris Chapman, I'm going to disagree with you. I think raisin bran is good. Lou, it's like, kind of sounds like this poll was a presidential election for Lou. You know, I don't like either any of these choices, but I guess I'll take raisin bran. Oh, you might as well sit outside. Enjoy the weather while we have it. When I come back inside, I'll check Crunchyroll, see if anything's been released. You know, if anything has. It's kind of a, like, might call a lonely scene. Like, The Lonesome Walkway. I think that'd be a good name for this video. The Lonesome Walkway. I can't really seem to get it so it looks like it's weirdly tilted no matter how I turn it, you know. Maybe I move back here, but a lonesome walkway. Trying to figure, like, if this were just sort of a, you know, meditate in the quietude of the rain kind of video, where would it best be placed? Meditate in the quietude of the weather. Where you get the added sound of the water coming down the, what do you call it? Rain gutter pipe thing. Breathe in and release. Understand that you are one with the ways of nature. The rain falls, the trees grow. The sound of water brings life to your spirit as it brings life to the earth. Welcome to Namaste, the channel that brings you and your spirit together as one. Here at Namaste, we enjoy the quietude in peaceful meditation. Everyone, breathe in and release. I don't know if you can tell, but we're getting more of that little tiny hail right now. So small that it looks like snow. It looks like snow, but it's not. And breathe in and breathe out. Now hold your pose,
Hold it, hold it. Feel your spirits moving through you. Feel your chakras opening. Feel your third eye closing, opening, closing again, blinking rapidly. You've got a small object stuck in your third eye. Rinse it out with warm water. Open your ears and your spirit to the tweetings of the birds. Tweet, tweet, they say. Good morning. Now, reach down and grab the front of your left foot. Carefully lift it until it's stretched all the way over your head and the toes of your foot are touching the middle of your back. There, doesn't that feel good? I'm a yoga instructor. By hobby, not by trade, so, I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking my yoga advice. I don't do yoga myself, I just do yoga instruction. Now, take your arm, place it between your legs, pull it up behind your shoulder blades. There you go. Isn't that wonderful? Namaste. All right, let's go back inside. Back inside where we belong. We aren't a bunch of wild animals living out in the cold, getting hailed on. We're civilized human beings. We belong inside of a house. The rapture is soon. Should I cancel my typing tomorrow? Is it that soon? Did I see the eclipse? No, I didn't. Addie says hi. I like your name, Addie. It's one of my favorite drugs. Captain Crunch is pretty, like, mouth chew-uppy. Pizza can be. It depends on the pizza. Doritos certainly can be. You can really hurt yourself eating Doritos if you're not careful. I will pray for you, Eric, so God saves you and you don't pay for your sins. Well, thanks, JC. I appreciate that. I don't want to pay for my sins, but I mean, I understand that one's accountable, but I don't sin very much, really. The things I ask God for forgiveness for typically are old stuff, my failures as a son, etc. Yeah. Doritos are, it's a different kind of injury. Okay, I accept that. Right in the middle where two eclipses cross is a town called Rapture, Indiana. You think that's where the rapture will occur? Y'all love Emmy. We do love Emmy. Emmy's the best. You had a Crackling Oats phase? Forgot about it, but yeah. Well, you know what I think I'm not sure if anybody's mentioned yet, but needs to be mentioned? Honey Bunches of Oats. Let's admit it, they're maybe the most delicious of all cereals. The Rapture is global. It starts simultaneously in all spots.
Won't there be some sort of fissure in the earth that begins someplace? The end is near. All the signs are showing it. Well, I appreciate that 7-Eleven. Uh, I try to do my part, ask for forgiveness, and try to go and sin no more, as they say. It's, I think it's generally quite easy to not sin. You know, if you are, if you're in a good place, you know, in life, it's really very easy to not sin. I've been trying to walk an increasingly righteous path for a long time. So, yeah, well, none of us are without sin, but I would say that there are times in my life when I was more prone to sinning than others, you know. God will come like a thief in the middle of the night. I hope I don't accidentally shoot him. Oh, Jesus. This, what? What? Says Richard, what happened? You shot somebody. What? There was an intruder, thank God. You shot him. No, I mean, oh, Jesus. What? I shot Jesus. He came into my house like a thief in the night. I had every reason to believe he was an intruder. You were right there next to me in bed. It couldn't possibly have been you. I just shot him, and it turned out it was Jesus. Well, how do you know it's Jesus? Well, he's got the long hair. Look at his hands. He's got a hole through each of his hands, a hole through each of his feet. He's got a shirt on that says, "I am Jesus. Today is the rapture." And oh, he's got that thorny crown on as well. The whole 9 yards. It's pretty hard to deny that I just shot Jesus. Hopefully he'll forgive me. I mean, he should have knocked. I would have just let him in. We're all just one heart attack away. So I guess it's just a race against time. My heart or the rapture? When the rapture happens, do you think I'll be carried away into heaven? Or do you think I'll be left down here? I'll be left behind. Oh, fuck. I knew I should have prayed last night. No, the rapture's happened this morning, and my soul isn't clean enough from sin because I didn't pray last night. It's got yesterday's dirty sin on it. And now I wasn't carried away to heaven. I have to stay down here with all these goddamn heathens. I know you ain't talking when you look like they. What do you mean that? I mean, if you know I ain't talking, you need to check your knowing box because I definitely am talking. So I'd suggest that you know, I'm not making a mockery of anything, JC. I don't place a lot of faith into any other human being's interpretation of God or Jesus, right? Because I'm a sensible person. I have my own understanding, my own relationship, and you are not even conceivably going to inform me about it. After all, my relationship is robust, real, predicated on a desperate need relationship. How could you possibly ever even dream of conceivably informing me about my relationship with God? The hubris. You want to talk about hubris, which means arrogance against God. God is face palming when you say that shit, JC. He is face palming, getting out his paddle. Can't wait to get you up there so he can spank the shit out of you. So, no. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. You don't need to worry about my relationship with Jesus or God, okay? And believe me, I'm not worried about yours. OMG, it's Carrie Jones. OMG, it's Carrie Jones. Who's Carrie Jones? I don't know who that is even. That's one I've not heard before. I've heard a lot of like, oh my God, you are celebrity or whatever. A lot of different ones. I've never heard Carrie Jones before. Well, JC, you worry about your own back, okay? Don't worry about other people. Other people do not need your help in determining their own religious or spiritual status, you know? They don't want it and they don't need it. God's not pleased, in my opinion, by your evangelizing. I think he's face palming, as I said. And he and Jesus and the Holy Ghost are all face palming, rolling their eyes and being like, oh, for fuck's sake, why do Christians have to be so insufferable? That's my opinion, okay? So, you guys who want to keep meowing about it, when we all get to heaven and God and Jesus and the Holy Ghost are scolding you for being so face palmy, I'm going to say, I told you so. Guys, join my Discord. I need to make a new video that's coming out tomorrow, so be in Vancouver. Okay, well, unlikely that's going to happen because, Pat God, you are unable to post a link, and you'd have to, attract more than promote. Well, in contrast, JC, I actually am looking forward to standing and watching Jesus scold you for this shit. I think that'll be wonderful. Toko Miko 88925 says, why is your face swollen? Because I got stung by a lot of hornets right before you joined. I was outside. My face got stung by like 6 or 10 hornets. Well, good. Go for it. I mean, you're welcome to use whatever chunks of my video you want in whatever fashion you want. I'm no copyright Nazi. You want to, excerpt what I'm doing and mock it, you be my guest, and good for you. I think you should be very proud of yourself for getting 3.4 million subs. Roast away. I understand that as somebody who makes public media, purposely put myself out there, what I say, and position it as correct and accurate and true, that people like everyone's entitled to critique it however they wish. Or 14 subs, according to the channel numbers. Well, Pat God, seems like you only have 14 subs. That's fine too. It doesn't make any difference to me whether you have 3.4 million subs or 14 subs. You can still roast me all you want. I am absolutely fair game. Hero Lounge got 2,000 subs and no vids. Good job, Hero Lounge. Congratulations. I'm sure that really makes you feel like you've accomplished something. So yeah, if you're here to inform me that you're gonna roast me with your other YouTube account that has 3.4 million subs, go for it. If you prefer to roast me with your account that has 14 subs, you go for that too. And I heartily applaud your interest and efforts in those directions. Salutations. Distinguez depuis les iles mosquitos? Can I distinguish between, like, what, the mini mosquitoes or something? Oh, best regards from the Mosquito Islands. Right, cool. Uh, KE, you need to stop thinking about people other than Anbor, okay? You need to focus your attention. You need to focus your looking eyes for looking out for Anbor. X Gracie X, hello, how are you? Welcome to Talking to Fans People, the internet's only YouTube channel. That's my claim to fame. You know, I'm obviously the only YouTube channel that can make that claim. All right, finally, some new cartoons are out. One of them I already know I'm not going to be interested in, but I might try to watch an episode of it, but I already know I don't like it. It's boring, which is Laid Back Camp Season 3. However, the one that was released at 9 a.m., An Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride. That looks like it might be good. We'll see. And then 10 a.m., A Condition Called Love. Okay, so just right out the gate, I'm telling you, these are all girl cartoons. Let's just admit it. These are girl cartoons. But I can hope that at least one of them will be good. You hear Davy Crockett's call to play the Trapper? Path. No, I haven't. X Infamous X. Infamous X. What are you infamous for? Are you like Snidely Whiplash? I think I value saving the 3 clicks it would take to join more than you. Mad back God. You thought it was a waist up pic of a guy with a blue towel in his shoulder, looking to the left. Anyway, I am really looking forward to Pack God roasting me. I think that's going to be wonderful. What is Winston's mom's PFP? Let's see. Looks like something kind of brownish white. I would say it's a brownish white PFP. OMG, people like you make this goddamn world a mess, Winston's mom. WTF is that PFP? Like, what do you accomplish with that? Anyway, join the Discord. You're hilarious, Pat God. I mean, I can't imagine you make any hay out of roasting anybody when you just like turn yourself into low hanging roast fruit. Am I white? No, I'm fluidly transracial. Rachel's always changing her PFP. I'm not sure why exactly. We are living in Sodoma. Oh, wait. You meant Sodom. Living in Sodoma, that'd be great. You know, Sodoma's a nice place. You might want to live in Sodoma, JC. It's a lovely kind of wine country part of California. Gamora, on the other hand, I think you're talking about that green lady from the MCU. She's cool, I guess. If you're down with green ladies, it's only a matter of time before God gets tired of it and saves his children from what's coming. I mean, I don't experience any of this Sodom and Gomorrah stuff, right? My life is not filled with wanton debauchery. It is not filled with sin. It is not filled with lots of temptation that I have to try to resist or anything. I live a happy, pleasant life. being a decent, normal human being. So I live in a community where that's how it goes as well. Why would I perceive the world to be in a state of Sodom and Gomorrah? All right, Albert Grossman. There you go. Overuse of cereals creates sugars in your body. Eat a balanced diet. Well, I'm going to provide the alternate perspective on this. I think everybody should eat nothing but cereal all the time. The sugarier, the better. As many sugars as you can possibly get on your cereal. After you get the sugariest cereal, I think you should scoop additional sugar onto the cereal. You know, I think it's a good idea. Anyway, the state government is actually defined as that which has a monopoly on use of force. So it's kind of hard to call it just organized crime. The monopoly on use of force makes at least some of their applications of that monopoly legitimate. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up because I'm tired. I'm going to try to watch a cartoon. Hopefully, it'll be decent. If it's not, maybe I'll watch some other TV or something. I'm settling, sliding into sleepy week here. And, JC, you don't know anything about my heart, right? You presume way too much. Your presumption is definitely a form of wickedness. Think about it. All right. See you later, everybody. Have a good one.